Welcome back to another video, and today we're looking at this book, Graphite Issue 1 no less. I've been looking for this book for a while. I've been trying to track it down. It's published by 3D Total. It was the first in a series of issues they made. I can't remember what they went up to. Was it about 10 or 9? I'm not sure, maybe more. Anyway, this is Graphite 1. Quite rare actually, quite hard to find. Here's the spine. It's got the writing on there. It says Graphite 1. It's got a nice kind of grayscale cover. Most of the issues are in a sort of a monotone colour scheme. You can see the ISBN there, it's £10 in the UK. So let's have a look inside. There's a quote here, it's by Kim Jung Gi. It says, "You need to be confident while you are expressing your vision with your hand. It may seem difficult at first, but practicing will make it easier." Fair enough. Here's a really nice sort of page with a street sketch on. It's also got some information about the publication details, including when it was published in 2016. So quite old now. Anyway, I'll just tuck that in. What's inside the first page? Well, first of all, we get a contents page and a nice little illustration of a leprechaun. Okay, we've got an editor's letter here by Marisa Lewis, and then we've got various other things. So we're focusing on a few different artists, and we've got some interviews in there, and we've got a gallery in the middle, which is very nice too. So it kicks off with a few pages about the cover artist, Kim Jung Gi. I hope I've got his name right there. I like his simple but bold kind of monotone black and white style and his nice lines there. There's a quote here, it says, "I observe things all the time. I don't take references while I'm drawing, but I'm always collecting visual resources. Observe them carefully on a daily basis. Almost habitually, I study images of all sorts and genres." The next few pages are given over to an interview with an artist called Matthew Filipkowski, and it says it's grotesque and irreverent. But I like some of his work, his sketch work. It is pretty weird, it is pretty grotesque. In particular these weird mouths and strange kind of dismembered body parts. The next few pages are exploring a specific project with Matthew, and it's focusing on the folktale of Baba Yaga. And you can see basically how he puts together a piece. There's some weird chicken feet, massive chicken feet, and below that a couple of odd, grotesque characters. All in all, it's just really quite strange, but I also really like it. I love chickens anyway, but it's good to have those feet. Moving on, we look at sketching in the city with a New York-based artist, Eleanor Doughty. I really like how, it's so clever how she can depict a scene with just the minimalist of lines here. Some of these sketches I really like, and they're just kind of, like I say, just a collection of lines, but it's enough to give you the impression of a busy, kind of sprawling city street. Of course, the problem with sitting on a street drawing is you get people coming up to you all the time. They, "Oh, what are you doing? Can I have a look? Are you famous? Can I buy? Can you draw me?" Whatever. But I really love her work. It's a nice collection. Next we have a few pages based on featured artists, I think 7 different artists. This dragon illustration is my favourite, by Philip Borburen. Sounds like a biscuit, but I love this art. It's ink on paper apparently, but I just love the scale of the dragon compared to this tiny little warrior. Fish separated by a flower. I think I've missed a page. Here's a couple more, like that one on the left, good architecture there. And this weird creature. And there's the gallery contributors. The next few pages are called Ribbon, Ink and Bone. It's a detailed illustration. It's quite interesting for me reading through kind of how this is done and how the artist approached this particular project. But the final end thing, it's kind of just a graphite logo. It's okay, but there's better stuff in this book, I think. So moving on, after this graphite project, there's the final piece, incidentally, quite nice. We've got something called Up the Wrong Tree. This is described as the narrative illustration project with Gerald Dye, and it's based on a little story. Let me read this. It says, "As the module deployed its parachute, it became evident that it had missed its target. A kaleidoscopic panorama of rainbow colours carpeted the lush landscape of this alien world. It sauntered ever down like a leaf in autumn, gently pushing through the upper boughs of this strange rainforest. The parachute hooked itself to a branch and left the module dangling. Air shushed from the rim of its capsule door, stirring the leaves that pushed back against the rising door below. Sinuous and lithe bodies shifted and curious gazers peered up as the door opened." That's pretty terrifying, isn't it? Look at those creatures with their kind of like open mouths, waiting to eat whatever falls out of this capsule. That really got me hooked, and I really like this piece of work. And over the next few pages we get to see how the artist approached this particular project and how he sort of like researched or did some drawings for the monsters and the actual capsule. We get lots of photos of him working with his beard and his glasses, and kind of talking through the process, the creative process. The page talks about how he lays down a tonal base and builds up layers of colour to get to the sort of final piece. Working with his glasses and his beard again. Love those photos. Right, we move on to an interview with Sam Wolfe-Connolly. This is creepy stuff. It's very macabre. I love her art. It's very dark. It's actually pretty creepy on each of these pieces of art. There's something just not right about it. I hate this one on the left with the sheet and then the shadow of the legs at the top. It's going to give me nightmares, in fact. And the use of, there's so much darkness in here. It's almost like horror film. It's not showing you, and that's what you're afraid of. This last section is called Fuel Up. It's basically following along, drawing and colouring with a sci-fi concept artist, Jan Burrage. This is interesting. I like the way he constructs this peculiar kind of vehicle and the use of the colour as well. And I really like the darkness underneath this kind of vehicle, underneath the body where the legs are. And this brings us to the end of the book. We've got the contributors listed on the left there and the Graphite team. There's a thing about subscribing now. I think it's too late because I don't believe they make these anymore. I like this final piece of art here. This guy with the kind of like the hat and the spear. That's really nice work. And then we've got some names. It was a Kickstarter project originally. So this is a really, there's more information there, like about the subscription details that was. It's a really nice issue. It's hard to find. I think this is my favourite graphite that I've seen. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed looking through it. I certainly did, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye for now.